An NBA insider just dropped a bombshell report that changes everything about the New York Knicks, which would make them the biggest threat to the NBA Finals. Meanwhile, doing something that many Knicks fans would approve of, and on top of this, setting themselves up for one of the greatest off seasons of all time in NBA history, as the Knicks would also give themselves flexibility to make multiple other moves subsequently, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and I know it's the middle of the playoffs. I know we're all locked in and focused on this right now, and that's what we should be, because it is the NBA playoffs. But even when the NBA playoffs come around, big news follows, and where things stand right now, the New York Knicks just got all the confirmation they needed to go and try to make a flip of a trade that would change everything for their team, make them way better than they are today, and also find ways to make this team even better than they are now by so much, and to continue to give them one of the greatest off seasons in NBA history, assuming they could pull this all off, and they do have the assets and financial ability to do so, unlike most teams. Let's jump into it, guys. Now, you saw him in the intro video. You know he's coming up. Not these two. This guy. Giannis Antetokounmpo loves New York City. Like, he loves New York City a lot. And it was revealed that his love for New York City and the struggling Milwaukee Bucks seemingly could work out very, very well for Giannis and the New York Knicks. Now, it was mentioned by Brian Lewis of the New York Post that Giannis reportedly enjoys New York, owns multiple businesses in New York, and is reportedly viewed by the Brooklyn Nets as a prime target. Now, no, that's not the Knicks, that is the Brooklyn Nets. And Chris Haynes mentions that this is going to be a pivotal playoffs for the Milwaukee Bucks. This 2025 playoffs for them, it's going to be pivotal. If they don't win or get to the finals, or even make a deep run, you could probably see some wholesale changes going on in Milwaukee. And it was mentioned again regarding the Brooklyn Nets that multiple league personnel that have spoken with the New York Post say that Giannis has been and remains plan A for the Brooklyn Nets. If Giannis gets traded this somewhere elsewhere, that may make GM Sean Marks' path simple, as he could tank another year and build through the lottery, or try to trade for someone else who would hit the market. Now, where do the Knicks come involved? The Knicks have a lot of an easier pathway to trading for Giannis than the Brooklyn Nets. And I know that sounds insane. I know that the Nets own the majority of New York Knicks picks right now, but the way the finances work out, the way, more importantly, the contracts work out, and on top of all this, the truth about those assets the Nets have, the truth about those draft picks, and their assets in general, no one's talking about it. And there is a reason why it has to be brought up. And I'm not going to sit here and hide it from you guys. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. Those assets, they are not very good. They might seem good. All those draft picks, they look damn good. Not all of them are. 2 of the 5 first-round picks the New York Knicks traded to the the Brooklyn Nets in the Mikal Bridges trade, they're this year. One of them is the Milwaukee Bucks first-round pick. That's somewhere around 23rd. The other one's the New York Knicks pick, which is around 25th, 26th. Big whoop. Outside of that, there's 3 more picks the Knicks gave. Now, one of them is 2031. That one's objectively valuable. The Knicks are great right now. Most teams that are great now aren't great in 7 years from now. However, when you have a great general manager like Leon Rose and your franchise starts to really turn around and look like one of the best ran franchises in basketball, usually you're able to stay pretty damn good. Leon Rose has done a pretty good job at making the Knicks good at all costs. Can he hold it up? Can he reload now that they can't rebuild? That is the question. But everything indicates that Leon knows exactly what he's doing right here. There's been chatter in Knicks circles that I've heard that essentially there was always the thought that the Knicks could flip Karl-Anthony Towns for Giannis. It was always a thought out there. Karl-Anthony Towns' contract works really well, but not perfectly. So there would have to be another stipulation involved. Meanwhile, the Brooklyn Nets, they don't exactly have the perfect trade to make for Giannis. Now look, yes, they can acquire Giannis. And by the way, according to Fanspo, this trade doesn't work. The Nets would have to come up with more money to trade, but also at the same time, with it being the offseason, the Nets would be able to take in a ton of money. Nick Claxton's the only big contract outside of Cameron Johnson, and outside of that, they will be able to afford it, but they would have to renounce some rights and everything as well. So if the Nets decide, all right, well, let's give Claxton's bad contract because it works enough financially and well, 8 first-round picks. And I didn't just pick random first-round picks. These were meticulously picked. The Houston Rockets pick, the Milwaukee Bucks pick, so the Nets wouldn't give up their own draft pick and also give the Bucks back their pick, which helps for essentially the stipend rule where you can't trade 2 first-round picks back-to-back. It's important for the Bucks to get that one back. It just helps out for a lot of things. On top of that, you get the Nets' own 2026 first-round pick. With Giannis, that probably won't be that valuable. You get a 2027 first-round pick from the Knicks. Knicks will probably be good in 2027 with the same roster. They're still going to be a playoff team. That's not a very good first-round pick. But again, these are what the Nets have, and the best bet is to not trade your own picks because the team trading for Giannis isn't really going to want that own team's, or a team trading Giannis away doesn't really want to get the picks owned by the team acquiring Giannis. That's a very, very risky move that the Bucks would make. So you then continue down the line. You look at a pick swap that Milwaukee gets to choose between them and the Nets. You get the Knicks 2029 first-round pick, hoping that maybe by then the Knicks will have fallen off with everybody getting older. On top of that, you get the 2028 first-round pick, or the 2030 first-round swap between the Nets and the Bucks that the Bucks obviously get the choice of. And then the Knicks 2031 first-round pick. Now, some of these are good, and it's 8 first-rounders for a player. There is a lot of thought of, okay, well, you take this deal, you get 8 first-round picks if you're the Bucks. The Bucks don't have a ton of firsts. You rebuild, even though you don't have a ton of control over your own picks, which does scare a lot of teams away from rebuilding unless they absolutely have to. Do the Bucks absolutely have to rebuild like this, or can they find another way? Well, they can find another way. And it involves these two guys right here. The New York Knicks acquired both Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges over the offseason of last year, and it's proven to be an all-right move. The Knicks are the 3rd seed now. They won 51-31 and had one of their best seasons in a very long time. However, Towns and Mikal have not always perfectly fit in with the New York Knicks, specifically Mikal Bridges. Well, funny enough, if you add those contracts together between Towns and Mikal and add Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis, something funny happens. It works perfectly. It's a legal trade. On top of that, the Knicks, they give 3 pick swaps in the trade because that's legal. You could do the pick swaps. The Bucks still have Damian Lillard, Mikal Bridges, and Karl-Anthony Towns, and 3 extra picks. They could start flipping people. Continue to try to contend. Yeah, you don't have Giannis. Yeah, it just became a lot harder. Yeah, it might not work. But at least you're not rebuilding without your own draft picks because you gave all of them away to New Orleans and Portland for 2 different point guards, and one of them actually was a wild success. They won the NBA Finals that year, and Drew Holiday made the game-winning play. So there's that. So at the end of the day, was it worth it? Yes. Was trading for Dame worth it? Right now, it doesn't look like it. But the Bucks get to add more picks on that they have control over. And yes, they are New York Knicks picks, and the Knicks would be contending, and they wouldn't be the greatest picks in the world. But also, they're not getting Nicholas Claxton's god-awful contract in return. They're getting Karl-Anthony Towns. They're getting Mikal Bridges. They're getting 2 players who have been good. And I'm not trying to dump off players that weren't good with the Knicks. Both of them were good, and I don't really want to see either of them get traded. I think this Knicks team can work. I just think this team's 20 times better. Look, Towns isn't working right now with the Knicks in the playoffs because of Tom Thibodeau. It's Tibbs' fault. Basically, the way they're running things is really not working for them, for specifically Towns. But also, Mikal Bridges has not really found his own way in the offense, something that I think would be changed by a different head coach. If the Knicks lose to the Pistons or get demolished by the Celtics, they are going to fire Tibbs. And then if the same team runs it back, I do think Mikal's going to be better next year with the Knicks. I think he'll sort of continue to figure out how he's playing with the team, understand his role better, and then sort of really start to fit in a lot better. However, or you could just trade him and Towns and all your picks for Giannis. I like that move better. And here's why I like that move better. Because it gives you a lot of flexibility to continue to move forwards. How so? Well, then the Knicks have a lineup that is pretty damn good, where you have Giannis as your best player. Next to him is Jalen Brunson, who would fit well. Leon Rose also then gets to create a starting lineup, and maybe you have a new coach, maybe you still have Tom Thibodeau, but you get a starting lineup that's pretty elite because you get Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, OG Anunoby, Giannis, and Bobby Portis in this right now with Josh Hart off the bench and Mitchell Robinson still there off the bench. However, there is a free agent who fits perfectly with this team, would become the starting center, and oh, that's right, just so happens to be a CAA client. Miles Turner. Fits perfectly next to Giannis. Fits with this Knicks team perfectly. Not afraid of getting chippy whatsoever. Miles Turner is not afraid at the moment. Got into fights with Dante DiVincenzo and half the Knicks already. He's not afraid of getting into scraps. On top of that, his biggest weakness is rebounding as a center. Something that Giannis and OG and Josh Hart will all make up for just fine. On top of that, you get Bobby Portis off your bench, who's also a stretch 5. So you get to continue to use Bobby Portis. You could also move him to the 4 next to Miles Turner at points. So you still have elite rim protection between Giannis and Miles Turner. It kind of works out perfectly. And the Knicks, they could figure out how to get him because Austin Brown, not Aaron Mintz, got them mixed up, both A names, but CAA client. Leon Rose is CAA. You starting to see the connection here? You starting to see why this could work? Why if the Knicks pulled this off? Am I crazy? Yes, I'm objectively being insane right now. But all of it adds up that the Knicks could pull it off. On top of that, then what do you do with Mitchell Robinson? Well, here's what you do. Mitch has an expiring contract. Teams will take the expiring contract of the elite offensive rebounding rim protector. The Knicks trade him somewhere for a forward/wing who could score off the bench. So then you have insert forward/wing who's a good scorer in the Mitch trade. You could throw some seconds if you need to as well. Along with that guy off the bench, you have Josh Hart. You have Tyler Kolek. You have Ariel Hukporti. You have Bobby Portis. You have Kevin McCullough Jr., Pacome.ea. Landry Shamet will probably be back. That's 8 guys. It's a 13-man roster right there. Obviously, one of those guys is just person to be named later in Mitchell Robinson trade. Also, Pacome.ea is on that. That's 14 guys. You have one more roster spot to fill. You find a guy on a minimum contract who's happy to play for this team. Is he going to be a veteran? Yeah. Could it potentially be PJ Tucker? Maybe, but also PJ Tucker was signed to a 2-year deal so he could be brought in. Essentially what I'm saying is I'm a little insane for doing all this, but the Knicks have been linked to Giannis. They could pull this off and create an elite team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Yes, I'm insane. I'm sorry this is happening during the playoffs, but it had to be now. Go Knicks.